Here are the top stories for today, February 12, 2021. A move towards economic recovery, the IATF allows more businesses to reopen. Religious services in areas under GCQ will be allowed at 50% capacity starting February 15. The Environment Department moves to phase out plastic straws and stirrers within a year. And the season of luck and love is here. We take a peek on the celebration of Chinese New Year and Valentine's Day in the time of COVID-19. Good day, I am William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. More businesses nationwide are now allowed to resume their operations. During the Laging Handa briefing, Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said the IATF has decided to give more sectors the chance to operate since there is no increase in the risk of COVID-19 attack rate.
Inapruban din po ng inyong IATF sa kanilang huling pagpupulong ang muling pagbubukas o pagpapalawak ng mga sumusunod na negosyo o industriya. Unang-una, driving schools, mga sinihan o traditional cinemas, video and interactive game arcades, libraries, archives, museums at cultural centers, meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions, at limitadong social events at accredited establishments ng Department of Tourism.
The task force also approved the reopening of limited tourist attractions in the country.
Inaprubahan din ang muling pagbubukas ng limited tourist attractions tulad ng mga parks, theme parks, natural sites at historical landmarks. Ang muling pagbubukas na ito ay subject sa implementing guidelines na mag-i-issue na magsasabi ng operational capacity at oversight ng appropriate regulatory agency at mga lokal na pamahalaan kung nasaan ang mga negosyo at ang mga industriya.
Restrictions on religious gatherings in areas placed under General Community Quarantine or GCQ has been relaxed. At present, a 30% seating capacity is allowed under GCQ and 50% for areas placed under modified GCQ.
Inaprubuhan po ng inyong IATF ang pag-relax o pagluwag ng restriction sa mga reliyosong pagtitipon o religious gathering sa mga lugar na nasa ilalim ng General Community Quarantine simula Lunes, 15 ng Pebrero. Pinapayagan na sa mga lugar na nasa GCQ ang religious service na hanggang 50% ng seating or venue capacity.
President Rodrigo Duterte remains consistent with his preference for China-made vaccines. In a palace press briefing, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said the president has already decided which vaccine brand to receive.
I know of the decision of the president already. I can say that the president's decision is consistent, that he prefers Chinese, but I am not at authority to make public that decision. The president himself will make that pronouncement himself.
President Rodrigo Duterte will sign an executive order to ensure faster purchase of COVID-19 jabs if necessary. This as the purchase of COVID-19 vaccines, just like other government projects, are required to undergo public bidding. In a palace briefing yesterday, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque also welcomed lawmakers' move to allow local government units to purchase COVID-19 vaccines without going through a long bidding process. At present, LGUs may purchase COVID-19 vaccines through tripartite deals with the national government and vaccine manufacturers. In House Bill 864 filed by Speaker Lord Alan Velasco, LGUs can make an advance payment of not more than 50% of the contract amount for the procurement of COVID-19 drugs and vaccines unless directed by the President. This shall be exempt from customs duties, value-added tax, excise tax, and other fees. President Rodrigo Duterte's hometown, Davao City, is also gearing up for the arrival of COVID-19 vaccines. During the simulation exercise held by the city earlier today, the transport process started from the storage facility at the Southern Philippines Medical Center and the Los Amigos COVID Laboratory. These jabs were brought to the Mabini Elementary School in Bangkal. 20 health workers were oriented and screened on how to properly administer the jabs, and the vaccination immediately followed. Patients were then transferred to the high-risk post-vaccination room and will be observed for 30 to 45 minutes. DOH Davao Regional Director Dr. Annabel Yumang said it is important to observe the patients to monitor possible side effects of the vaccines. An ambulance is also on standby to transport those who would need immediate medical attention. Despite curbs in COVID-19 exports imposed by the European Union, Belgium is ready to supply jabs to all countries, including the Philippines. This was announced by the Belgian embassy in Manila, saying that there is a new procedure for securing export licenses for COVID-19 vaccines outside of the EU. Right now, Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson's Janssen vaccines are being manufactured in Belgium. Brussels earlier said it would ensure that pharmaceutical firms in the country would fulfill their contractual obligations towards third world countries, and the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines will not be interrupted under the said process. The EU earlier said it would exempt the Philippines from the export restrictions on COVID-19 vaccines. A solar lighting project was launched in Albay and a roadshow on freedom of information law was held in Pangasinan. PCOO News Update from Laid Cabagani.
Presidential Communications Operations Office or PCOO commended the launching of solar lighting project in Albay called Tanglaw ng Lahing Filipino or TLF. The project led by Albay Police Provincial Office said it will cater to the need for safe night light, especially in areas frequented by power interruptions due to poor electric service, natural disasters, and no connection at all to electric power grids. In a statement, PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar said they will assist these communities from the influence of subversive activities as well as the dangers of abuse. Presidential Task Force on Media Security or PTFOMS also commended the Albay Police Provincial Office. PTFOMS Undersecretary Joey C. Egco led the oath-taking of the TLF warriors for the province of Albay. A memorandum of agreement with the public and private partners was signed for the support to the project and its eventual replication. Meanwhile, PCOO Undersecretary and Freedom of Information or FOI Program Director Chris Tablan has asked local government units in Pangasinan to enact FOI ordinances. He said citizens must have the power to ask information as LGUs have local data that could be used for decision-making. In his speech during the PCOO roadshow, Ablan said about 47 LGUs all over the country, including San Pavian, have enacted the FOI ordinance. Among the most requested information through the FOI are about the Social Amelioration Program, Pantawid Pamilya Pilipino Program, financial assistance for overseas workers, COVID-19 related data, and calamity loan application. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Laid Cabagani.
Still to come, the Chinese community in Binondo keeps traditions alive despite a toned-down celebration of the Chinese New Year. And as the pandemic takes a toll on tenants paying rental fees, the palace speaks up on the rental policy under the Bayanihan laws. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Alamin kung paano ang tamang pagsusuot ng surgical mask. Una, hawakan ang mask sa strap at siguruhing natatakpan nito ang inyong bibig at ilong. Tandaan, ang may kulay na bahagi ng mask ang dapat nasa labas. Ito lamang ang tamang paraan ng pagsuot nito. Ihulma ang nose piece o maliit na metallic strip ayon sa hugis ng inyong ilong. Iwasan ang paghawak sa inyong ilong at bibig. Kung marumi na ang mask, hubarin ito gamit ang strap at itapon ito sa isang basurahan. Siguruhin ang maayos na paghuhugas ng kamay gamit ang sabon at tubig. Ang surgical mask ay dapat gamitin ng mga pasyenteng may sakit sa baga o mga taong mayroong ubo, sipon at lagnat, mga nag-aalaga sa mga may sakit, at mga healthcare at frontline workers. Maaari ring magsuot nito kung kayo ay pupunta sa matataong lugar. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
You're still watching the PNA Newsroom. And it's Kong Hei Fat Choi for our Filipino-Chinese brothers and sisters. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the usually merry celebration of the Lunar New Year is toned down this year. Our Marita Mawahe visits Binondo, the world's oldest Chinatown, and finds out how the occasion is celebrated in a simple yet meaningful manner.
Vibrant, noisy, and lively. These are just some words to describe the celebration of Chinese New Year. But this year, the coronavirus pandemic created a different story here in the world's oldest Chinatown outside mainland China, Binondo. Chinese, Filipinos, and Filipino-Chinese opted for a much toned-down celebration as the Manila City government called off all activities for the occasion as part of health and safety protocols. But as Chinese culture is so embedded in the way of life of the Filipinos, many still flocked to Ong Pin Street in Binondo for their tikoys, round fruits, and of course, the lucky charms for the year of the metal ox. The usual smiles of people cannot be seen this year as they line up with their faces covered with masks and face shields to buy their tikoys as someone holds a signage and remind everyone every now and then to follow the protocols.
Malaki yung pagkakaiba kasi ngayon talaga, dati talaga kung ano yung magdamkot ng tao, talagang yun na po. So ngayon, medyo mas may kakaiba pa rin talaga dahil yung dami ng tao na mamimili, hindi, kumpara dati, mas okay pa rin po talaga yung dati. Kasi dati wala po talagang yung social distancing, ganun po. So ngayon, mayroon po. So limited po yung ibang tao, pero marami pa rin pong namimili.
Aside from being tasty, tikoy sells like hotcakes because it is believed to bring good luck for the whole year.
Umiikot ang swerte. Pag kumakain yun, yung malagkit. Tapos madalas ibibigay namin sa iba, i-share sa iba, hindi yung sariling kain.
Tan's family will be celebrating the occasion in a simpler way. As dragon dance, lion dance, and firecrackers are not allowed for this year's celebration, she said that they will make up with the food. Simple Chinese food. People lining up and patiently waiting for their turn to pray at the Santo Cristo de Longos also caught our attention. It is a cross believed to be miraculous where people say their petitions while lighting joss sticks known to be used by Buddhists. It is a perfect example of marriage of beliefs between the early Chinese settlers who embraced Catholicism but still didn't forget their roots. Carlos Lee, a Filipino-Chinese, frequents the place and say his petition.
Basta na lahat ng hinihiling mo natutupad dyan. Kaya yung mga tao, balik ng balik, balik ng balik, balik ng balik.
Across Ong Pin Street, you will find vendors of all kinds of lucky charms, from bracelets to bunches of palay or unhusked rice grains that one hangs on their door for good luck. While most vendors complain of low sales even at a discounted price, it is a different story in some Lucky Charms store. Store owner Maxine Chu says among their popular products are 3 coins as this is believed to be a good financial omen.
3 coins na never short out of cash. Lahat kaya bumili. Nilalagay sa wallet kasi gusto natin may pera, hindi ba ito?
As for good health, she said that it starts by taking good care of ourselves.
Hopefully, next year, ox year, lahat lumabas na, maghakot na tayo para may pera tayo. Yan lang po. Kulang decor. Para pagpasok mo, masaya. No need to putok-putok ganon. Opo. Say good word. Huwag magalit, huwag mag-away. Bukas, no? Ngayon, kailangan magpagupit ng buhok para good aura.
Despite having lucky charms, for you, it is good character that makes one lucky.
At na all family get together, that's the best. Tapos kakain kami para masaya lang po. Importante get together family. No? Tapos wag lang mag-away. Say good word, maski na inis ka.
Ong Pin is probably the busiest street here in Binondo. More so because it's Chinese New Year. With everyone hoping for good luck for the year of the metal ox, we have to be thankful for all the blessings that we have received for the past year. Reporting from Binondo, Manila, Kong Hei Fat Choi, everyone.
In Bacolod City, the annual Bacolodiat Festival is canceled in accordance with the existing health and safety protocols in the country. Mayor Evelio Leonarda issued the executive order suspending any public celebration of the Bacolodiat Festival. He said it was with mixed feelings when he issued the executive order, as he was the one who founded the Bacolod version of the Chinese New Year in 2006. He said it was meant to honor and manifest the assimilation of the Chinese culture in the city. It was also conceptualized to become a major tourist attraction. But in the light of the pandemic, he said health and safety should come first. From Chinese New Year's luck, we shift to the season of love, as Valentine's Day is just around the corner. And for many, there is still a chance to feel and celebrate love in many ways in the time of COVID-19. Marita Mawahe fills us in.
Roses are red, violets are blue, and for Valentine's Day, the magic words are, I love you. As early as 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the Mehan Garden in Manila turns into a haven for lovers. And as love is for everyone, having fun is not only for couples but also for groups of friends from all ages, as well as those who are single but ready to mingle.
Ay, naghahanap, hindi, joke lang.
Baby said she does not feel out of place amid couples dating, as she is even recommending to those who are single to find a special someone.
First person you have to love is yourself. You can always go on a date with yourself. It doesn't have to be with someone else. So you can love yourself first, yun. Date yourself on Valentine's Day.
Of course, younger couples will not miss this opportunity despite the coronavirus pandemic.
Okay pa rin po, sumusunod sa protocol. Titingnan lang po namin kung anong meron, kung anong ganap.
Iisipin pa din yung safety. At the same time po, enjoy po yung araw. Opo.
Meanwhile, Levi and Tess, who have been married for 21 years, still goes out on a date.
Sana sa mag-asawa, huwag sila makalimot sa pagmamahal nila sa misis nila, kahit papano, i-celebrate nila tong okasyon na to.
At saka fidelity, loyalty, at syempre, time. Mahalaga yung time.
Meanwhile, this group of 4 young at heart women were just enjoying their group date, laughing and posing in 3D walls like the young ones do. Another group of women are just posing in some garden-like areas, holding flowers and coaching one another to be able to have a good shot. Mehan Garden in Manila was renovated by Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Domagoso to give people a place where they can stroll and enjoy the day in the middle of the hustling city. Aptly called Maynila for the Love Month, Manilans and none may enjoy the place where soft music is being played in the background, the beautiful fountain as backdrop, different stall where one may buy flowers for their date, perfume, and food in case they get hungry. Funny and relatable hugot text walls are also around to add to the mood. There are also 3D walls where people may have their pictures taken for an out-of-this-world background. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, people may still go on a date in a safe way to enjoy their Valentine's Day. Manila Traffic and Parking Bureau from Sector 4 Edgardo Coronel is assigned in the area to make sure that minimum public health safety protocols are being followed.
Dito po sa Maynila po, sa ginawa po ni Mayor na pasyalan po, dito sa Megan Garden po, pwede po silang mamasyal dito. Kaso lang po, wag po sana nilang pababayaan yung lugar kung pupunta po sila rito. Lahat po ng policy kailangan po nilang sundin.
This only proves that Filipinos, a race known for being romantic, can still find love in the time of COVID-19. For the PNA Newsroom, this is Marita Muahe saying, spread love, not hate.
Malacanang says there is currently no rent freeze for residential tenants struggling financially amid the prevailing pandemic. However, lessors are still mandated to comply with a 30-day grace period for commercial rents under the Bayanihan to Recover as One Act, or Bayanihan 2. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said that there are current laws such as Republic Act 9653 or the Rent Control Act of 2009, which protects poor and middle-class tenants from unreasonable rent increases. Roque meanwhile appealed to lessors and landlords not to implement unreasonable rent increases or evict anyone for failing to pay rent. In several speeches, President Rodrigo Duterte has called on lessors and landlords not to force people to pay rent. While President Rodrigo Duterte has ordered to postpone the implementation of the child car seat law, a lawmaker says the situation is not as simple as it seems. Deputy Speaker Rufus Rodriguez yesterday said a joint House-Senate resolution would not suffice because the Supreme Court had ruled that a resolution cannot prevail over a law. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said the president has ordered to defer the law's implementation so as not to add to the burden of the public amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Transportation earlier said it would focus on a soft enforcement, which includes an information campaign on the advantages of the new law. Republic Act 11229 mandates the use of child restraint systems among children 12 years of age and below with a height of 4 feet 11 inches and below. An environmental group on Thursday called for subsidized vehicle inspections at Motor Vehicle Inspection Centers, or MVICs. Clean Air Philippines Movement Incorporated President Dr. Leo Olarte has approached Congress seeking to lower vehicle inspection fees during the COVID-19 pandemic instead of stopping mandatory inspections. Olarte said operations of MVICs is mandated under the Clean Air Act of 1999 and other land transportation laws, noting that health and safety risks brought by non-roadworthy vehicles are more dangerous than COVID-19. Transportation Assistant Secretary Giovanni Lopez said the Department of Transportation and the Land Transportation Office will look into providing assistance to MVICs. This after President Rodrigo Duterte ordered not to make mandatory vehicle inspections at MVICs as a requirement for vehicle registration due to its expensive fees and complaints on its results. Meanwhile, MVICs will now charge the same fees for vehicle inspection as private emission testing centers. Lopez said MVICs have agreed to lower their inspection fees from as much as 1,800 pesos to 600 for light vehicles, 500 for motorcycles, and 300 for jeepneys. There will also be no re-inspection fee for a year. DOTR Secretary Arthur Tugade appealed to private MVICs on Thursday to lower inspection fees and suspend re-inspection fees for at least a year. Inigo Larazabal, president of the Vehicle Inspection Center Operators Association of the Philippines, said despite the reduced inspection fees, MVICs will continue to check 73 different points of inspection to ensure the roadworthiness of vehicles. Local automotive industry showed signs of improvement in January this year after the sales volume dropped by single digits for the past 10 months. The Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines Incorporated and the Truck Manufacturers Association reported a 1.4% drop in volume of sold vehicles last month. Since the onset of COVID-19, CAMPI and TMA reported double to triple-digit decrements in sales volume. On the other hand, sales of passenger cars grew by double digits, with sales growing by 11.5% from January 2020. Sales of commercial vehicles still posted a negative growth of 6.4% this year. Last month, the Department of Trade and Industry imposed provisional safeguard measures on imported vehicles as the government found out they have caused serious injury to the local industry. Up next, the loss of a religious icon, ang dating Daan leader Brother Eli Soriano dies at 73. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Alamin ang tamang paraan ng pag-ubo upang mapigilan ang paglaganap ng Coronavirus Disease 2019. Ugaliing magdala ng panyo o tissue. Kung uubo o babahing, takpan ang buong ilong at bibig gamit ang panyo o tissue. Kung walang dalang panyo o tissue, maaaring gamitin ang braso na pantakip. Kung nakararamdam na kailangan umubo o bumahing, agad na dumistansya sa mga tao sa paligid. Huwag dumura kung saan-saan, gumamit ng tissue at itapon sa basurahan. Ugaliin ang paghuhugas ng kamay at paggamit ng alcohol o hand sanitizer upang mamatay ang mikrobyo. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
The two IATFs facing charges of terrorism are dropping the National Union of People's Lawyers, or NUPL, as their legal counsel. Brothers-in-law Japer Gurung and Junior Ramos said they want the Public Attorney's Office and the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples to represent them instead. The two claim that the NUPL only added burden to their cases. Gurung and Ramos also said NUPL insisted for them to sign the petition for intervention against the anti-terrorism law filed before the Supreme Court. They claim the NUPL told them that they will rot in jail if they do not sign it. On Tuesday, Chief Justice Diosdado Peralta said the High Court denied the petition for intervention of Gurung and Ramos in the Anti-Terrorism Act. Solicitor General Jose Calida said the IATFs have withdrawn their petition as they were only forced to sign the 42-page petition against the anti-terror law. A festival in Zamboanga del Sur aims to promote the cultivation of cacao as a high-value crop. The Department of Trade and Industry yesterday opened the 4-day Cacao Festival. Among the highlights of the festival are a forum on good practices in cacao farming and processing of products such as vinegar, dark chocolate, and beverages like milk tea and frappe. DTI Provincial Director Flor Miriaflor said cacao production in the province has been sweeter as it increased an average of 285 metric tons per year since 2019. The towns of Molave and Midsalip are the top cacao producing and processing areas in the province. Governor Victor Yu says he wants to make his province a cacao country with plans to expand the province's production area to 10,000 hectares. Moving to World Health headlines, France confirmed that the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19 was found to be circulating in the country since November 2019. A study by the French National Institute of Health and Medical Research suggests that the virus has been in Europe nearly 2 months earlier than previously thought. The first case of COVID-19 infection, or patient 0, was identified on January 24 last year in the southwestern city of Bordeaux. However, a case of suspected pneumonia at a hospital near Paris on December 27, 2019 was later found out to be a coronavirus infection. The study was based on the analysis of serum samples of over 9,000 adults living in 12 different regions of France. COVID-19 infections in France are among the highest in Europe, with more than 3.4 million positive cases and over 80,000 deaths. In sports, the Philippines pocketed 3 gold medals in the Inner Strength International E-Tournament. James De Los Santos solidified his status as the world #1 in the men's seniors category after winning in all rounds. De Los Santos defeated Nej Sternisa of Slovenia 25.4 to 24.6 in the gold medal match to widen his lead in the E-Kata rankings. Meanwhile, Fatima Hamsain, one of De Los Santos' proteges, won the other 2 golds in the female under-16 division and the female under-18 division. Thanks to the under-16 gold, Hamsain will leapfrog significantly in the world E-Kata rankings. Filipinos would soon drink coffee, soft drinks, and other beverages in a more environment-friendly way as the government moves to ban the use of plastic straws and stirrers. The Environment Department has given concerned stakeholders 1 year to phase out these items, which are considered as non-environmentally accepted products, or NEAPs. Environment Undersecretary Benny Antiporda says plastic coffee stirrers and soft drink straws made it to the NEAP list as studies show these are not environment friendly. The National Solid Waste Management Commission was tasked to create a NEEP list or items that the government will ban in 1 year, as ordered by the Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. Antiporda says studies and public consultations on other products will continue to determine which of these will make it to the NEEP list. The country lost one of its religious icons today. Ang dating Daan leader and televangelist Brother Eli Soriano has died. He was 73 years of age. The group, more commonly known as Members Church of God International, announced Soriano's death in a Facebook post. The preacher's cause of death was not disclosed. They also paid tribute to his works, which they described as instrumental in spreading God's word to the people. The church also vowed to continue Soriano's programs and projects. Malacanang also extends its condolences to Soriano's followers. In a press statement, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque praised Soriano's legacy, saying his teachings and dedication in spreading God's words touched many lives. The Ang Dating Daan started as a radio program in 1980. It became a television program in 1983 and has gained international attention. Here's another look at today's biggest stories. A move towards economic recovery, the IATF allows more businesses to reopen. Religious services in areas under GCQ will be allowed at 50% capacity starting February 15. The Environment Department moves to phase out plastic straws and stirrers within a year. And the season of luck and love is here. We take a peek on the celebration of Chinese New Year and Valentine's Day in the time of COVID-19. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check more news content, visit our webpage or head onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are also shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And from all of us here at the PNA Newsroom, we would like to greet everybody a very happy Chinese New Year. So Kung Hei Fat Choi, Gong Si Fat Chai, or Kyong Hee Wat Sai, depending on the dialect or whatever region that you come from. And consequently, spilling over into the weekend is also Valentine's Day. And since this is actually our first Valentine's Day celebration in the pandemic, we have to adjust to the way we celebrate it. So it is equally romantic to take out a special meal delivery, or even more special if we cook our own meals for our loved ones and surprise them. So with that, I hope you enjoy your weekend. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. We tell stories that inspire change. I am William Theo. Good day, happy Valentine's, happy weekend, happy Chinese New Year.